definitely odd and out of character. We have Bridget the maid, who has a solid alibi for Abby's murder. Her alibi for Andrew's murder has only one witness left, though, and that would be Lizzy. Likewise, Lizzy's alibi for her father's murder only has one witness, and that would be Bridget. So you can definitely see how everyone's coming together to support each other's story afterwards. The famous hatchet head was found in the basement during a search on Saturday when the sisters are at the burial. If you wonder why they waited 2 days to search the house, the police didn't want to search it while Lizzy and Emma were here because they would have had to search their rooms while they were present, and there's underwear there. So they wait the 2 days. Again, Victorian CSI is pretty hilarious to me. But it's notable for the lack of handle and also what they believe are drops of blood, and definitively a hair is found on it. It's sent out for testing, and the results are rushed back because it turns out to be positive for both blood and hair from a cow.
How come that light keeps flickering
I don't
in the
know,
dining room?
because it shouldn't be picking up the motion sensor from here. The motion sensor only picks up things walking by the other door. If it went out, I would understand. If it's flickering, welcome to the boarding house.
Look, just went out.
Okay, that might be just that the timing of,
Okay.
you know, if it comes back on, then that's, all right. Where was I? So yeah, it comes back positive for blood, but the blood of a cow. There was in fact no physical evidence at the trial that linked Lizzy to the murder. But something very interesting happens just before the trial starts in 1893. Some children are playing in the property behind the Bordens, and they lost the ball they were playing with on the roof of a small barn. When they climbed up to retrieve their toy, they found that somebody had thrown away a hatchet on the roof of their barn. A hatchet that matches the rough description of the murder weapon. When the police looked at it, they said from the rust on the blade and damage to the handle, it very well could have been there since the summer of 1892, but there wouldn't be any way they could prove that one way or the other, nor any evidence, get any evidence off it. It doesn't show up in the trial. Obviously, the defense never would have allowed it, citing it as circumstantial and prejudicial and found far and away after the events of the murder, etc., etc., etc. But let's face it, it looks bad. The last thing I'll just tell you about the story, since I like to end on a sort of, well, I find it funny. During the 10 months that Lizzy was in prison, Emma had the original couch in the living room reupholstered. Because it's, you know, a really nice couch. I mean, her father was killed on it, but other than that, you know, a little fabric and new stuffing, good as new. I don't know why that fact just kills me, but it does. Anyway, so that's the Borden, that's the Fall River tour and the Borden house. Do you have any questions or things I didn't cover?
So they've really never figured out if it was Lizzy, it could have been the uncle, it could have been the doctor. Wow. I never
Well, I
knew.
think the doctor was involved after the fact. I don't think he was involved in it, but my theory that I've come up with over about almost 2 years is I think Emma planned it.
You think Emma planned it? Okay.
Because she stands the most to gain. She's also out of town, which, you know, looks like, you know, what a mob boss would do.
Yeah.
Uncle John I like for the killing because it best explains the time between the two. No robber or assassin's gonna hang out in the house while people are walking around risking discovery, waiting for Andrew to come home. And besides, if he had wanted to kill Andrew, Andrew took the same walk through Fall River every day. There were plenty of places he could have been jumped. My theory, and again, I don't have anything more than circumstantial evidence behind it, but if their social isolation here was a cover for something as dark as incest, all Emma would have had to do is tell Uncle John that was going on. It would have been a terribly shameful secret that wouldn't have even been talked about in court. But that would have sent him into a frenzy, and he certainly has the upper body strength to wield a hatchet. I've also wondered if, whether the rumors were true or not. Really, all Emma would have to do is suggest heavily that they were. So I think Emma set it up. I don't know if Lizzy knew and played dumb, or if Lizzy might have actually been a dupe during the whole thing. Set up as the kind of patsy, knowing there wouldn't be any way that they could prove that she did it because they'd never find the murder weapon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I don't have any way of proving this any more than other theories,
anything else,
but just that note that Dr. Bowen was reading, that the officer was